In a land where magic thrived, beyond the reach of ordinary men, lay the Morza mystical forest filled with creatures and beings of extraordinary power. Among them was Maleficent, a fairy unlike any other. She was a powerful and kind-hearted protector of the moors, guarding its beauty and life. Maleficent's heart was as expansive as the realm she protected, and her connection to the moors was inseparable, as if she were one with the land itself. When Maleficent was a young girl, her life was forever changed by a chance encounter with a human boy named Stefan. Stefan, a poor peasant living at the edge of the moors, wandered into the magical forest one fateful day. The two formed a deep bond, and over time, their relationship blossomed into something more. They shared a love that was pure and strong, a love that seemed destined to last forever. But as with many love stories, time and ambition would tear them apart. Stefan, though, once captivated by Maleficent's beauty and kindness, found his desire for power growing stronger. The thought of rising above his humble beginnings became an obsession, especially when King Henry, the ruler of the human kingdom, began looking to expand his empire. Driven by greed and the promise of greatness, Stefan began to distance himself from Maleficent, focusing instead on his ambition to one day claim the throne. As Stefan's dreams of power grew, Maleficent, in contrast, became increasingly dedicated to protecting the moors. She vowed to shield her homeland from the greed and corruption of the human world. Her fierce commitment to the moors and her burgeoning magical abilities made her a force to be reckoned with. But her newfound power and responsibilities came with a great cost. The inevitable clash between the moors and the human kingdom came when King Henry, determined to conquer the magical realm, waged war against Maleficent's home. In the heat of battle, Maleficent, wielding her incredible powers, mortally wounded King Henry. On his deathbed, the king made a final declaration. Whoever killed Maleficent would ascend to the throne and marry his daughter, Princess Layla. Stefan, in a moment of deep inner conflict, visited Maleficent, and under the guise of wanting to make amends, he drugged her. In a heartbreaking act of betrayal, Stefan, instead of killing Maleficent as the king had ordered, chose to sever her wings, presenting them as evidence of her death. The loss of her wings devastated Maleficent, stripping her of part of her very soul. Grieving, Maleficent withdrew into herself, her bitterness slowly consuming her. In her sorrow, she encountered Diavel, a raven trapped by a farmer. Maleficent, in an act of mercy, freed the raven and turned him into a human. Diavel, ever loyal, became her companion, and the two embarked on a new, darker path. Stefan, now crowned king, was obsessed with the idea of securing his throne and killing Maleficent, whom he viewed as a threat to his reign. He became increasingly paranoid and unstable, crafting weapons made of iron, an element that was lethal to fairies. His obsession grew so strong that he refused to even see his wife on her deathbed, consumed entirely by his quest to destroy the fairy who had once been his love. Meanwhile, Maleficent continued to watch over the moors, though her heart was filled with rage. Her actions grew crueler, and she ruled with an iron fist, her once noble nature corrupted by betrayal and anger. But even in the midst of her bitterness, a part of her never forgot the human girl Aurora, the child of Stefan, who had been born shortly after the betrayal. As Aurora's 16th birthday approached, news of her christening reached Maleficent. In a fit of rage and revenge, Maleficent appeared at the ceremony uninvited. With Stefan present, Maleficent cursed his daughter, Aurora. She declared that before the sun set on Aurora's 16th birthday, the young girl would prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and fall into a deep, death-like sleep. Maleficent, mocking Stefan's plea for mercy, offered a faint glimmer of hope. The curse could only be broken by true love's kiss, a form of love that Maleficent and Stefan both believed to be not. Stefan, desperate to protect his daughter, ordered 3 pixies, Knotgrass, Flintbill, and Thistlewit, to hide Aurora away in a secluded forest cottage, where she would be safe until the day after her 16th birthday. In a desperate attempt to prevent the curse from coming true, Stefan ordered all spinning wheels in the kingdom to be destroyed, and their remnants locked away in the castle dungeon. He also sent his army to kill Maleficent. But the fairy created an impenetrable wall of thorns that surrounded the moors, protecting it from invasion. For years, Stefan continued his obsession with destroying Maleficent. His mental state deteriorated further as he became increasingly fixated on his old love and the curse she had placed on his daughter. Meanwhile, Maleficent, though still filled with anger, watched Aurora grow up from a distance. Aurora, unaware of her true lineage, had been raised by the pixies, who failed to care for her properly. The young girl grew curious about the world outside, and when she met Maleficent in person, she believed the fairy was her fairy godmother. Despite the curse Maleficent had placed upon her, the two formed a bond that was unlike any Maleficent had ever known. Maleficent, though reluctant at first, found herself drawn to the young girl, and soon she became Aurora's protector from afar, ensuring that the pixies' incompetence did not hinder Aurora's safety. As the years passed, Maleficent realized that she could not bring herself to harm Aurora, a child who seemed innocent of the events that had led to her birth. In a rare act of tenderness, Maleficent privately sought to undo the curse, although she knew deep down that it was impossible. Aurora, blissfully unaware of the complex web of deceit and revenge surrounding her, began visiting the Moors and bonding with Maleficent. Along the way, she also met Prince Philip, and the two began to form a connection. As Aurora's 16th birthday drew near, the time for the curse to come to fruition arrived. The pixies revealed to Aurora the truth about her heritage and the curse that had been placed upon her. Heartbroken, Aurora fled to her father's castle, where Stefan, determined to prevent the curse from coming true, locked her away. But as the sun set, the curse took hold, and Aurora pricked her finger on a spinning wheel, falling into a deep sleep. Desperate to save her, Maleficent and Diaval captured Prince Philip, bringing him to the castle in the hope that his kiss would break the curse. But despite the pixies' encouragement, Philip's kiss failed. At that moment, Maleficent, in a moment of profound sorrow and realization, kissed Aurora herself, her kiss fueled by true maternal love. It was this love that broke the curse, waking Aurora from her sleep. As Maleficent, Aurora, and Diaval attempted to escape the castle, Stefan and his guards ambushed them. In a fierce battle, Maleficent transformed Diaval into a fearsome dragon, but the two were quickly subdued. But just as all seemed lost, Aurora discovered Maleficent's caged wings. In a poignant moment, she freed the wings, allowing them to reattach to Maleficent, restoring her full strength. Maleficent, now fully empowered, fought back, defeating Stefan and his men. In the final confrontation, Maleficent dragged Stefan to the top of a tower. Though she had the power to kill him, she refused. She declared that the fight was over and turned to leave. But Stefan, in his madness, tackled her from behind. The two fell from the tower, but Maleficent, with her wings, was able to save herself. Stefan, unable to hold on, fell to his death. With Stefan gone and the Moors freed from his reign, Maleficent returned to the realm she had once protected. She restored the Moors to their former glory and crowned Aurora as its new ruler, uniting the magical land with the human kingdom. Aurora, now a wise and compassionate ruler, began a new life with Prince Philip by her side. And Maleficent, no longer a bitter fairy consumed by vengeance, became a loving and guiding force in the lives of those she protected. Together, they forged a new future, one where love, kindness, and understanding could heal even the deepest of wounds. Maleficent is a complex and iconic character, originally introduced as the villain in Disney's Sleeping Beauty, 1959. She is a powerful fairy with dark magic, known for her striking appearance, horns, a flowing cloak, and a commanding presence. In the original story, Maleficent curses Princess Aurora, cursing her to die on her 16th birthday after pricking her finger on a spinning wheel. The character is initially portrayed as pure evil, embodying the archetype of a wicked villain. However, in the 2014 film Maleficent, Disney reimagines the character, exploring her backstory and motivations. The film reveals that Maleficent was once a kind-hearted fairy who was betrayed by the man she loved, leading her to turn bitter and vengeful. This version of Maleficent humanizes her, showcasing her pain, vulnerability, and capacity for redemption. Her transformation from a villain into a more nuanced anti-hero highlights the complexity of human emotions and the consequences of betrayal. Maleficent's character has since become a symbol of power, resilience, and the exploration of good versus evil. Her journey challenges traditional notions of morality, showing that people are shaped by their experiences, and even the darkest individuals can change.